Abram's father, Terah, had just passed away. He just passed away. Abram is at that age where he becomes into adulthood, into manhood. But let's not look at it as adulthood. Let's look at it as he's at that age where he's coming from one understanding of life to another understanding of life, because that's what's taking place with him right now. Prior to this, you didn't hear anything about him having any relationship with the Creator at all. But now we're going to see where he begins to have a relationship with the Most High. When he came into this knowledge of the Creator and how to begin to serve the Most High, he had to leave where he was raised, his father's house. Symbolically, that's us leaving one mental state, moving into another mental state to be able to live out the life of a Hebrew. I don't know if you understand what I mean. When you're going through school and you're learning different levels of understanding, you go from one grade to the next grade, to the next grade, to the next grade. Each transition from grade is going into a different house. Do y'all follow me? Each time you go from one grade to the next, you're going from one house to the next grade, to another house. And then when you complete how many grades? 12 grades, 12 levels of knowledge, 12 understandings on the tree of life. When you reach that 12th grade, you go on to the higher form of knowledge, you reach what they call Kether or Keter. Do y'all understand what Keter is? Who remembers what Keter is?
Is it crown?
It's the crown. It's the highest level that man can achieve spiritually while still here on the earth. Keter. And in the Keter realm, you are now introduced into a place where the Most High dwells. And where the Most High dwells is called Ein Suf Ein. It's called an everlasting sea of light, where the Most High dwells. In order to get to that existence, you have to go to 720 degrees of knowledge. That's 360 twice. And when you see this symbol right here, that's what that is. This is a symbol of a master. 720. 180, 180, and 360. That's 720. Abraham traveled, and when he came into a certain level of understanding, when the Creator was ready to begin to use him, the Most High moved him out of the land that he was most comfortable in and moved him into a foreign land, new space, new territory, new area. Same thing with the individual who comes into the knowledge of the Creator. Think back when you first began to learn of the Most High. Your life was going one way, and all of a sudden you learned about the Creator, and the way that your life was going then, it now becomes uncomfortable to you. You have to make adjustments now in your life so that you can adequately conduct yourself properly. The things that you were so used to and comfortable with in your old life, you no longer feel comfortable being and doing. Unless you're a total straight hypocrite, then you can feel comfortable sinning all day, all night, and living a life of absence of the Most High all day, all night. But if you are anything like I believe you to be, like I know you are an element of light. You're a child of light. You are one who seek light. And being an element and a child of light, it means that when you came into the knowledge of the Most High, you transformed your behavior, just like Abraham did. And if you know anything about any drug addiction or any abuse program, when you enter into those things, they tell you, in order for you to be successful in this, you have to change your environment. The Most High knew what he was doing when he came to Abram at this particular time and said, okay, it's time for you to go. Leave all the world and all the things and all the people behind that you knew, because I'm about to transition you into something great, something that you didn't know nothing about. And Abram had to take a leap of faith and trust in the Creator and go out away from his comfortability and embrace what it was that the Most High had for him. Same thing must happen with you. And as long as you're in that place of comfortability that you previously had prior to walking this way, then you're not fully serving the Most High. We read a story today about Benjamin, the tribe of Benjamin. The man's name was Saul, and how the Most High called Saul to be king of Israel. And the prophet Samuel said to Saul, I believe you find this in the book of 1 Samuel chapter 10. The prophet Samuel said to Saul that the Most High has put a new spirit, a new mind in you. He said the Most High put a new mind in you. And then it says Saul became somebody else. He had to go through that process of transformation to become useful to the Creator. It's not that the Most High can't use you in your present condition prior to learning of him. But when he has a great service to you, he has to call you away from what you're most comfortable with so he can get your full attention. This Day of Atonement that we just experienced, Yom Kippur, was a renewing of your soul. It was a reintroduction for you and the Most High to give you the opportunity to live your life again, free of any sin, any guilt, any wrongdoings that you might have incurred in the year prior. So now you're starting off with a free, clean slate all over again. Are you going to change your environment? Are you going to change your circle, the people you walk with, the people you so commonly affiliate yourself with, the way you've been accustomed to doing things? What's going to change about you that's going to give you a better opportunity to pull closer to the Most High? So this whole Day of Atonement, I'm constantly feeling like it's time to pray over and over and over. I'm just in a house of silence, meditating and praying, and just every few hours or so, I get this feeling over me, get on the floor and make prayer. Tefillah is the word for prayer. But I just kept feeling it, like if it was meant for us to be in a constant form of prayer. So I did it. Most of the time I did it. Not 100% of the time, but most of the time I did it. I must have prayed a good 10 times maybe throughout the course of that 24-hour cycle. And it felt good. It brought back memories of days when I used to go out in the woods, in the park, and just fall on my face on the floor and make prayer to the Creator. It felt good to just be alone, just you and the Most High, praising him, worshiping him. And you might not even have much to say. Sometimes you pray so much, you ain't really got nothing to say. You just, hey, Creator, what you doing? Oh, me, I ain't doing nothing. I'm just sitting here studying, reading, hoping that you're hearing me, praying that you elevate us and take us home real soon and bring us together as a people. You know, I ain't really want nothing much today. Just those things right there. That's it. But thank you anyway, Creator, for allowing me to know you, for allowing me to waking up this morning and be able to think and breathe and just call upon you. Thank you, Creator. Toda Rabah. You might end out your prayer. But Abraham, in order for him to be used in the magnitude that the Creator is about to use him, he had to take him physically away from, and the physically also means the mental. You ever heard that saying that a prophet is never recognized in his own home?
Yeah.
It's because people who think they know you don't believe you. They won't accept you. You know why? Because they're too busy thinking about the things you did in your life prior to the Most High calling you. They holding you account. Oh, she's a whore. What? Man, Bob, Helen, Jane, Bill, Tom, they all had her. Look at her now. And she just saved a whole nation of people. And nobody thought she would. Oh, he's a liar. He lies all the time. He's a bank robber. He robs banks. Well, he don't rob banks no more. He's not a liar anymore. He's not a whore anymore. But when you go into a new environment, nobody knows you. You have a fresh start. To start all from the beginning. And nobody knows nothing about you. Now, if you go to this new place and you begin that same behavior that you did back then that's a problem. Let me give you an example of what I mean. There's Jewish folklore that Abraham was raised up as a pagan. They claim that Terah had idols and that Terah would make Abraham prostrate himself to those idols. And then one day they say, Abraham said, well, I'm not doing that no more. And he stopped and smashed the idols. And that's supposed to have been the turning point when he changed his life and began to have a relationship with the Creator and the Creator called him. That's Jewish folklore. I don't have that stuff. Tanakh don't say it. So it is what it is. In order for the Most High to use you, family, he has to take you away from the environment that you was most comfortable in and take you to a new space so that he can work with you. I heard my sister earlier, Sister Abigail said something about she thanked her husband. She thanked the Creator for her husband and that her husband had took her from the city and now they live out in the country. And I'm sure they're here on the mic. I'm sure that they can testify of how the Most High just magnified his relationship in their lives. He moved them. Y'all go ahead and speak. I'll be quiet.
It's very true, man. Very true.
It's very different out here, and just seeing all the nature and being able to get up early in the morning and go out and
Peace.
have the peace and the animals that we've seen. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
And it just makes us more thankful for living out here.
Thankful.
See, that type of environment is conducive to worship of the Most High. See, I don't know about y'all city dwellers. I'm not so sure about your city dwellers. But 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, you can go right outside in this backyard, take off your shoes and prostrate yourself on the ground.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do that, like I like to do sometimes, just take my chair and sit on the back deck under the moonlight. Just absorb the energy. You can feel it. You can feel it. You go out in the streets. I had this young guy with me from Philadelphia. He was with me last week when I first came down 3 weeks ago. And we riding down the street coming back to our home. He stayed in the RV. right in my home in the driveway across the street. So we driving down the street, and I said, look at that, man. He looked out the sky. He looked out the window and looked at the sky, and the sky was so close to the earth. It was so close, he had to get on the phone and call people and show them how the stars look in the sky. I didn't say anything. All I said was, look out the window. Look at that. And he looked and he automatically understood what I was talking about. Because it looks like you can reach up and touch them. They'd be so close sometimes, most of the time. The sky is so clear out here in the country. You're so much closer to nature, is what I'm trying to say, that you can feel it. It's a euphoria. It's an energy. It's a feeling. You can feel it. Well, people who have been living in that condition for a long time, who is not in tune with the Most High, will totally be oblivious to what I'm speaking about, because it's not their routine. But when the Most High is ready to use you, like he did with Abraham, he has to change your environment. And when he changed your environment, every receptor you have is now more in tuned to look. Okay, it's like when you're in your own environment, these things are so used to being there that you ain't even got to think no more. You already know where everything is and what you're doing and how you're moving. And it causes your receptors to close up. But when you go into a new environment, you don't know what's around the corner, what's up the street, what's down the block. Your mind opens up, it expands, and it leaves room to absorb what the Most High has for you. This is what took place with Abraham. Well, at this time he's Abraham, but this is what took place with him. So read that first verse again. Now you got a deeper understanding of what it's saying when we took him out of his father's house. Read that again, please.
Now the Creator said to Abram, get out of your country, from your family, and from your father's house to a land that
Why the Most High tell him to do that? Because the Most High got a job for him. Same thing he did with Jeremiah the prophet, sent him out in the wilderness. Same thing he did with Moses, send him out in the wilderness. He made him flee from Egypt. It's just this time he's telling us what he's doing. Those other times, it's just mixed up in the story. There's a lot of stories with what Dawid do before Dawid became great. He had to flee. His receptor was open, and the Most High worked with him. But when you're in a place of comfortability, you're more lessly inclined, you're more unlikely inclined to give your all to the Most High and hear him when he speaks. Read on, please.
I will make you a great nation. I will bless you and make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you.
Shall be a blessing. Remember we read last week where they was building the Tower of Babel, and one of their reasons for building it was so that they will make a great name for themselves. It's different when you're making a great name for yourself and when the Most High is making you a great name. There's a difference. The Most High told Abram he will make his name great. Read on.
I will bless those who bless you and curse him who curses you. And in you, all the families of the earth shall be blessed.
Do y'all understand what we just read? That's some deep stuff. The Creator says, I will bless them that bless you. And also, I will curse them that curse you. So it's almost as if you ain't got to do no fighting, because the Most High is going to fight for you. This is what he does for those who serve him. What other person, what other power can make such a claim other than the Most High?
Hallelujah.
Just him. He's awesome.
Can I make a comment?
Sure.
That's why in the secular world, a divorce is allowed by Yah, because Yah has to put us in a different place when there's conflict and disagreement about how to serve the Most High. I just kept thinking about that. Divorce, Yah needs a divorce when people are not in unified mind to serve him. That's all I wanted to say.
I can see that. I can see that. A divorce meaning separation, meaning a fresh start, meaning a new environment. You're no longer committed to the old life. You're now moving into a new life. Read on, please.
So Abram departed as the Creator had spoken to him. I'm on verse 4. So
Read on,
Abram
please.
departed as the Most High had spoken to him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed from Haran. Then Abram
Now
took-
think about it. Abram had a nephew. His name was Lot, his brother Haran's son, and Haran had died. Abram was 75 years old when he left, still living in the same land and territory that he was raised. 75 years old before the Most High began to use him and made his name great. If you notice, the Most High is going to change his name. And I don't know how many of you understand the significance of that. The Most High changing your name. It goes hand in hand with you having a new calling on your life, becoming a new individual. 75 years old, and this young boy gonna tag along with him in his new adventure. What type of man was Abra at that time that would make his nephew say, yo, wherever you go, I'm going? What type of character did he display in his manliness that would earn the respect of the youth? Because a lot of the people today, the youth don't respect them because they're not walking upright. They don't give the youth anything to look forward to. Therefore, the youth do not respect them. But Abram, as old as he was, in comparison to Lot, Lot said, wherever you go, I want to go. You know what female got that kind of respect from another person? Anybody know? What female got that kind of respect from other females? Naomi. Naomi was an exceptional Israelite woman. Exceptional. She was so perfect in all of her actions that her two daughter-in-laws said, wherever you go, I'm going. But then one of them backed out and went the other way. But Ruth remained. Ruth went right along with her. And Ruth lived in a place where she didn't know, and her receptors was open. And what did she do? She received. She received. Abram was an exceptional man, let alone his walk with the Most High. He just was an exceptional man. And you can tell that because his nephew came right along with him. All right, let's go. Not only that, you can tell, but he obeyed the Creator. The Creator had to fight with him. The Creator had to argue with him. The Creator had to force him to do nothing. The Most High said, pack up your stuff and leave. And Abram said, okay, where to? He said, I'll show you when you get there. How many of us will go out on that type of faith with the Most High King? Oh, Creator, I just bought this house. You mean I got to leave it? Oh, man, I just got this brand new car. I got to leave it behind? I just met these people. I got to leave them? The Most High say, I got something for you to do. And sometimes it's required of you to abandon the world that you thought you knew, to embrace the world that the Most High is bringing you into. His way is always better than your own way. Always. So when the Most High brings you into a new space, open your arms wide and embrace it. Absorb it and accept what the Most High is bringing to you. If you feel your mind wanting to study more, study more. If you feel your mind wanting to travel more, travel more. Do what the Creator has for you to do. There's a reason why he's taking you into that new place. Read on, please.
Verse 4, so Abram departed as the Most High had spoken to him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed from Haran. Then Abram took Sarai, his wife, and Lot, his brother's son, and all their possessions that they had gathered, and the people whom they had acquired in Haran, and they departed to the land of Canaan. So they came to the land of Canaan. Abram
Now,
passed.
stop. Did you notice how it said that he took the people with him that he had acquired?
Mhm.
Man, you tell an Israelite today, I want you to serve me. First thing they say is, man, you crazy. I ain't no slave. It's not even about servitude as a slave. It's not about that at all. It's about being in the company of the righteous. You say, yo, I want you to come and be a part of this community. Oh man, I got it going over here. I ain't trying to come into there. I ain't trying to give up all that I got to go over there. Most people won't do it. Most people find it very difficult to want to change their environment from where they're living to where the Most High has for them to go. Think about when you was a child and your parents wanted to move, how much trouble and hard times you gave them about moving. Think about when the Creator called you and the Creator said, I got a purpose for you. Pack your stuff and move. Matter of fact, leave all your stuff right there. Get on out of here. I got somewhere I want you to go. And you don't know where the Most High is taking you. All you know is the Most High is guiding you. That's a powerful thing. I don't know how many of y'all can relate to that conversation like I'm saying. I want to be quiet for a minute and I want to hear what the family got to say. Tell me some of the things that's running through y'all mind right now.
Well, I can confess that that first part of that scripture where it says Yah will bless those that bless you. My son allowed me to convert his shed in his backyard to my new home. And he's been blessed in so many ways, even though he's totally unconscious in my mind and very secular. He just got hired in a job he was a temp for almost a year. They just made him permanent and gave him a raise. And I said, oh my goodness, with all the wine he drinks, with all the things, the secular things he does, Grandma, I'm in his backyard though, in a nice, comfortable, renovated shed, and Yah keeps blessing my son. So that's my reality, is that, yeah, and those who curse me, I don't have to fight and argue with people anymore who don't agree with me or who want to say bad things about me. Yah takes care of them too. So that's my reality with that scripture.
And if you tried to explain that to your son, he probably wouldn't understand it.
No, he wouldn't.
He'll
Well,
think you
I don't.
He'll
You're right.
probably think you. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. So I just smile and keep praising the Most High.
Wonderful. May the Most High be praised. Anyone else? What's in your mind as I speak those words about the Creator doing those works for you in your life?
Well, I wanted to, can you mute your phone back? What came into my mind was when the Most High came to me basically, and I packed up and moved out here to the country almost probably like 5 years ago, 4.5 years ago now, almost 5. And it wasn't an easy move, but once I was told that we had land, I just remember talking about it with the community at the time, or with the community spiritual leader at the time, and not really even like second guessing it. Packed up my stuff, me and my children, and came out here because the vision of what, was proposed of a community and building up land and having our own and separating ourselves from the people was so much more enlightening and engaging, than the long haul of the struggle of this build, because it's a struggle when you come out on barren land and build it from the ground up. So that wasn't even a thought in my head. The thought in my head at the time was just going and living on land that we own. And I felt like the Most High put that, I guess, opportunity there for me and my children. And we were able to move forward with doing that. And then the process of doing all of that, I was able to make certain relationships with the people out here in the country, become established, more established in this community rather. And then also the Most High opened up the doorways for me to be able to, meet you as my Ish. And I feel like he put me on that path to bring me, where I am today. And, now we are even building our community and doing the things that he is pushing us to do with, the visions and everything like that. So I think I like what you're saying, or I'm understanding what you're saying as when he tells you something and you move forward and doing it, watch the blessings flow. Don't worry about, don't think too far ahead of the struggle, but think about what the mission is and understand that with any mission, you're going to have struggles and you're going to have triumphs. And the best part is celebrating those triumphs and jumping over those hurdles and struggles. So I'm just thankful, that I followed his word and I followed that lead to be able to be here today.
May the Most High be praised. And I know it's difficult sometimes to follow the Most High when he tells you to abandon everything that you just started or that you've been a part of all your life and pack up and go somewhere else and do something else other than what you had already thought you were supposed to do. Anyone else? Would anyone else like to comment?
I'd like to comment. When Ben and I moved out in the country, it was last year, December, but we were selling our house and we were trying to figure out, do we want to move in the country? Do we want to get a house in the city and what to do? And we both prayed about it and the Creator led us here to this exact place. I won't go into details on how, but he definitely led us here. He answered all of our questions about it. And it was a big decision because our family still lives in Orlando and we're about 1 hour and 45 minutes away. But, we went where the Creator led us and we're very happy we did that. Once he showed us the sign that we should be here, we didn't look back. There was no doubt. It was like, okay, that's where we're going. And everything started to fall into place.
I can't wait to get out there to visit y'all. How close to y'all are to us? Do you know?
I think four and a half hours probably.
Yeah, we might have to take that ride real soon.
Oh, that would be nice.
Maybe,
Time, brother. Anytime.
Are you in
maybe
Florida?
try to,
Yeah, we're in North Florida.
What part?
It's a little town called Interlaken. It's very
Oh,
small.
I know where that is.
Yeah.
So you're not
all
far
right.
from, is it Tallahassee or are you near Ocala?
Ocala.
Yeah, we kind of between Ocala and Gainesville.
Okay, yeah, I know exactly where that is. We'll have to connect sometime.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Okie doke.
But come on
Sounds
down.
good. Yeah, I think I might try before I go back to Philadelphia. I might try to come down and visit y'all. Don't hold me to it yet, but usually when I say something, I try to do it. But don't hold me to it yet.
Oh, we always
Maybe
got-
we'll try to come through.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, that would be a good thing. Let's see if we can make that happen.
Yep.
If it's the Most High's will, we will. We'll drive through, take a visit, and drive back, and then I'll get on the road. Well, that's gonna be a lot of riding. I might have to come before that. Let's see how things happen. Let's see how it goes, and then we'll work on it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because I got to drive all the way back to Philadelphia, and that's a 13-hour ride.
Mm.
And that'll be a nice little hit with 5 more hours on top of 10 more hours on top of it.
Ooh.
So let's see. Maybe I can get her to drive. All right.
I'm a road ranger.
Right. Mhm. Yep. All right, let's get back to the lesson, y'all. Y'all ready?
Yep.
So I think y'all understand now. What we're talking about when we say that the Most High had to take him out of his pleasure and bring him into a little bit of uncomfortability to be able to open him up so that he can work with him. Read on, please. Let's see where we at.
Verse 6, Abram passed through the land to the place of Shechem as far as the terebinth tree of Moreh, and the Canaanites were in that land. Then the Most High appeared to Abram and said, to your descendants I will give this land. And there he built an altar to the Creator who had appeared to him. And he moved from there to the mountain east of Bethel, and he pitched his tent with Bethel on the west and Ai on the east. There he built an altar to the Creator and called on the name of the Most High. So Abram journeyed, going on still toward the south. Now there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down to Egypt to dwell there, for the famine was severe in the land. And it came to pass.
Remember what I told you? Remember how I told you the Most High has to move you from your place of comfortability to put you in a place of discomfort, to build you up so that he can utilize you? That's what we're going through right now. But Abram also needed to be tested. That his faith, his trust in the Most High was solid. Same thing would happen with you in your life, in your journey. Things won't make sense to you. You're going to ask questions about things, almost everything. But the reason why you ask so many questions is your lack of trust. Because you have not learned how to trust in the Creator in this process of things. Do y'all follow me? Things that don't make sense to you, you don't know, you're confused. When things don't make sense, but yet you know you're in good hands, let it go and do what you're supposed to do and let the Most High guide you. Do y'all follow me?
Yes.
Letting go is often difficult when you're living in a worldly way, in a worldly condition, because the world teaches you that other people are not so friendly and kind, that you can't trust people, that people will turn on you. But when you learn to trust in the Most High and you're walking with the Most High, all you got to do is be an upright person, and the Most High will make your very enemies to come to you and serve you. You have to know this. Watch what Abram does. Read on, please.
Really quick, does Sarah get her name changed too? Because it's Sarai in my book.
That's her original name, Sarai. That's her original name. Her name got changed later.
Okay, so it's Sarai. All right. Verse 11, and it came to pass when he was close to entering Egypt that he said to Sarai his wife, indeed, I know that you are a woman of beautiful countenance. Therefore it will happen when the Egyptians see you that they will say, this is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will let you live. Sarai
must have been a humdinger. She must have been a humdinger. that Yafet Tower, remember that Yafet Tower? Sarah must have been a glamour girl.
Mm-hmm.
He's so worried about somebody trying to kill him over his wife. She must have been a knockout. That's y'all mother. Always remember that. That's where y'all get them good genes from. That's why y'all look like y'all look. I know. All the women should be saying, I know, Prince. All right. Go ahead. Read on, please.
Therefore it will happen, verse 12, when the Egyptians see you that they will say, this is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will let you live. Please
They will kill the woman, but let the man live so they could take the woman. Read on, please. Are you saying something?
They will kill who?
They will kill the
man to let the woman live so they can take the woman.
Yes.
Read on, please.
Please say that you are my sister, that it will be well with me for your sake, and that I may.
See what's happening? Do y'all see what's happening? Abraham is being tested, but he's failing his test. You see that? He's failing his test. He's saying, well, wait a minute, y'all. The Most High might not be able to protect me. Let's get smart. Let's get wise. This is what I want to do. I'm going to say you my sister so they don't kill me. Just say you're my sister. But he ain't really lying because she is partly his sister. She's partly his sister. But he's saying, tell them you my sister so they don't kill me. Because if they know I'm your husband, they're going to kill me so they can have you. Because his faith, his trust in the Most High was wavering. Do y'all follow me? All right, well, this is what I want y'all to follow. Abraham is just thinking of a strategy that he can utilize to preserve his own soul alive. The Most High don't fight all your battles for you. Some battles the Most High let you fight to see how you would fight those battles. I've never known a man of the Most High, even Elijah, as powerful as he was with the Most High, he had to strategize and make things happen. What the Most High blesses is he blesses your efforts. And watch how the Most High bless the efforts that Abram put forward in this event. Read on, please.
Please say that you are my sister, that it may be well with me for your sake, and that I may live because of you. So it was when Abram went into Egypt that the Egyptians saw the woman, that she was very beautiful. The princess of Pharaoh also saw her and commended her to Pharaoh. And the woman was taken to Pharaoh's house.
Now stop for a second. She was so beautiful. Now I want y'all to pay notice to this because a lot of people don't do this. A lot of nations don't do this. She was so beautiful that the princess of Pharaoh saw how beautiful she was and took her to Pharaoh to give Pharaoh the opportunity to have the best looking woman in the city. Most people today, they want that for themselves. They don't think about their leadership on that level. They think about it for themselves. The best of everything they want to incorporate within themselves. But the people of ancient times, if ever they had the best of something, if they didn't give it to the leader, they gave it to the creator. Do y'all follow me? Or whatever God they served. Do y'all follow what I'm saying? They would take the hand-me-downs or the second portions, or after that leader or whatever he did got rid of it or done with it, then they'll take it on. I need y'all to understand these things because we have to shift our mindset. We have to be able to show honor and respect like our forefathers did. The princes saw this beautiful woman, and the first thing they did was took her to Pharaoh. You know another reason why they took her to Pharaoh? Because if they had taken her to himself and Pharaoh saw her, Pharaoh may have killed them to take her. So they bypass all that and they go straight to Pharaoh. Hey, I want to live. Hey, Pharaoh, look what we got over here. Look how beautiful she is. And Pharaoh took her into his house. And watch what happens. Read on, please.
Verse 15, the princess of Pharaoh also saw her and commended her to Pharaoh, and the woman was taken to Pharaoh's house. He treated Abram well for her sake. He had sheep, oxen, male donkeys, male and female servants, female donkeys, and camels.
Now, I want you to remember this because a lot of times during the reading, we get lost. Abram was already wealthy. He already had souls that he was responsible for. When he left Haran, his men and women that he acquired, remember those servants I was talking about? Yes. He acquired all of them, which means that what? He was responsible for all their lives. They wasn't his slaves. They was his servants. To be a servant and a slave is two different things. Two different things completely. So Abraham already had a lot of these things. But then when Pharaoh saw Sarah and he wanted her, what did he do? He went to bless the man in her life, her big brother. Even Pharaoh is showing honor. But we today, we meet a woman on the street. Oh man, we bypass the father, bypass the big brother, and go right and do whoopee. Hey, it's mine. Yeah, good. What's up, girl? And the woman let him. So not only is she disrespectful for allowing it, he's disrespectful for doing it. So what am I saying? I'm saying, women, teach your young women to show respect to the father and the family members who are males. That anytime they're interested in a young man, bring them to the leaders first. Bring them to the men, bring them to the father, bring them to the males first, before you just allow yourself to cohabit with these individuals. Do y'all understand that?
Sí, señor.
Yes.
And you know, I think that the Black women, especially in this modern day society, are trying to get to Pharaoh by doing Brazilian butt lifts, by doing long nails, by doing false hair. They trying to make themselves a Sarah in modern day consumerism, crazy, insane ways. That's how I see it. They're trying to make themselves look like more Europeans instead of doing it the way that we're teaching today, which is kind of interesting.
All right, very well. Thank you very much for that comment. We got Brother Mikael in the room with us today. Shabbat Shalom, Maki. I don't know if you are familiar with Zoom, but it's some type of way you're able to speak. I don't know if you are familiar with that, but I'll move on. I know who he is, fam. Let's move on, please. We're in Genesis, the 12th chapter, verse 16. Read on, please.
You want me to reread 16?
Whatever your spirit tells you to do.
Okay, that's fine. Verse 16 again. He treated Abram well for her sake. He had sheep, oxen, male donkeys, male and female servants, female donkeys, and camels. But the Most High plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai, Abram's wife. And Pharaoh called Abram.
Think about this for a second. Pharaoh's servant brought him a woman. Pharaoh said, hey, come here, pretty girl. I got this. Look at this. So Pharaoh turns around and blesses the man that's connected to that woman in respect and honor, as a man should do. But the Most High saw the efforts of Abram trying to preserve his life, and the Most High took over and fought the battle for him. What am I saying to you, fam? I'm saying don't always think you got to fight this fight because the enemy comes up and raises his head against you. All you got to do is maintain the course of righteousness, and the Creator will fight for you. Maintain that course of righteousness and let the Father fight your battles. Read on, please.
And Pharaoh called Abram and said, what is this you have done to me? Why did you not tell me that she was your wife? Why did you say
this? How did Pharaoh, let's think for a minute, fam. Most men today, we get hold of a woman and she look as good as Sarah did. Sarah? Oh, Sarah was a 20 piece. She wasn't a dime piece. She was a 20 piece. How do you know, Prince? Because Abraham said that the men of the city would be willing to kill him to take his wife. How many men do you know that's willing to kill for a woman? She must be a hot piece. I ain't say how many men willing to kill the woman. I ain't say that. That's a sickness. I'm talking about how many men willing to kill for a woman to possess her. That she must have been a hot piece. So, in Abram doing what he did to preserve his life, the Most High intervened. And it says that the Most High began to plague Pharaoh and Pharaoh's house. But now I need y'all to watch. Peep this. Look. Carefully look. It was up to Pharaoh to understand why he was being plagued. Most of us go through turmoil and bitterness and hard times in our lives, and we never take the time to sit back and realize why. So that shows you a lot of the wisdom and the mental consciousness of Pharaoh, what it takes to be a king. Do y'all understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Pharaoh's receptor had to be open in order for him to receive that he's being punished for this reason. Let's watch and see what happens. Read that again, please. 17.
And Pharaoh, 17, but the Most High plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai, Abram's wife. And Pharaoh called Abram and said, "What is this you have done to me? Why did you not tell me that she was your wife? Why did you say she is my sister, wife? Take her and go your way."
So I
Pharaoh-
might have taken her to me to wife. Your book don't say that?
Yes.
I mean, it says that, it's just in a different way. So I might have taken her
There you
as
go.
my wife, is what it says.
So that's our justification, that he didn't have intercourse with her. Do y'all follow me? That's our justification. He did not have intercourse with her. Even Pharaoh was precautious. But men today, we're not precautious. We see a woman, we want her, we get her to go on our house to a trip. We send the money for the plane ticket. As soon as she comes to our house, we smash it. Pharaoh didn't do that. You know why he didn't do that? Because that's the behavior of a common man. That's not the behavior of a king. Do y'all understand? The behavior of a king, you have to earn the right to be laid with a king, to be married by a king. You have to earn that right. You don't just get it right from the door because of your looks, because of how you look. Pharaoh had to make sure that she fit the equation. Pharaoh might didn't even have a wife at the time. Who knows? But he took her through a process. And while she was in the interim of that process, the Most High spoke to Pharaoh and said, "Yo, man, that's my man's wife. What you doing with her?" And Pharaoh heeded the voice of the Creator. This is the first time on record where we have a Pharaoh of Egypt being visited by the Most High. It's going to happen 2 more times later on in the scriptures. All right?
Mhm.
Let's read. "19.
19 again. Why did you say she is my sister? I might have taken her as my wife. Now therefore, here is your wife. Take her and go your way." So Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away with his wife and all that he had.
Now, not only did he, now watch this, y'all. Not only did he send him away, but he enhanced him. He enhanced him. First, he gave him all those camels and oxen and all that stuff when he first came into the land. And then when he goes out, Sarah or Sarai just gotten a handmaiden and other servants to go with her. Hagar. Let's start at verse 13, chapter 13. Can I get a reader, please? Or do you want to continue? All right, go ahead. Are we going to be able to do this with you in
It's
the
up
other
to you.
room? So, okay. Where you gonna stand up? Where you gonna sit? Okay. Go to sit. Genesis chapter 13, verse 1. Read on, please. Hold on 1 second, please. We had technical difficulty. Well, let me talk a little bit. I can talk a little bit while she's doing that. You see, there are times in your life where you're not so sure about the direction the Most High has for you, where you're not so sure about the moves that you make in your life. What I say to you is trust in the Creator. Be the very best that you can possibly be, Live your life the way that you know the Father would have for you to live, and everything would work its way out. Although people may not like you, people may make accusations against you, people may want to attack you or throw you in jail. Don't worry about it. Maintain that discipline of righteousness that you know the Father would have for you to do, and he will fight for you. And sometimes it takes a little time for the Most High to cause you to be victorious, but don't give up on the Most High, because a lot of times it's just a test of the Creator to see if you are really worthy of what he has for you. Just because you don't get what you want when you think it's supposed to be, don't mean that the Father's not making you and giving you victory. You just have to be patient and wait for his time to see the results of what you requested before him. Read on, please. Genesis chapter 13, verse 1.
Genesis 13, verse 1. And Abram went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, and all that he had, and Lot with him, into the south. And Abram was very rich in cattle, and silver, and in gold.
Now, what was that? He was what?
Rich.
Abram was wealthy. He was wealthy. He was getting it. He had to beg nobody for nothing. This is going to be an interesting chapter also. He was very rich. He already had those things before he went into Egypt. And then when he went into Egypt, Pharaoh, who was the richest man in Egypt, gave him even more. So that made him so wealthy. He had so much. He also had men servants and female servants at his disposal to use and help to build his empire. That part a lot of people sleep on. They don't pay attention to it. For Abraham was the man. Now, that New Testament book tell you you can't be rich and serve the Creator. Ain't that what they say in that book?
Mm.
That's right. For Abraham, he did it. So did I. Two examples. Solomon fell off a little bit, but then he got back his glory. These men show you that you can serve the Most High and be wealthy. Dawid was so wealthy, he would give away jewels and riches and all kind of wealth. Read on, please. Let's see where we at.
Yes, verse 3. And he went on his journeys from the south, even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Ai, unto the place of the altar which he had made there at the first. And Abram called thereon the name of the Most High.
So he went right back to that same altar that he had established prior to going to Egypt. He went back to that altar and called on the name of the Creator again, meaning that he worshiped, he served the Most High there. He would pray there. He would make sacrifices to the Creator at that altar. Read on.
And Lot also, verse 5, and Lot also, who went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents.
The Most High says, I will bless those who bless you.
Mm-hmm.
Lot was a servant of his uncle. And when Abram went out, Lot went out. As Abram grew in wealth, Lot grew in wealth. It's something about this that you all need to understand. People of color today, when we get wealth, it's my wealth. It's just for me. And if you ain't got it, you got to go figure out how to get it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you got a team of people with you, as you grow in wealth, being ahead of that team, everybody should be eating off that wealth, because everybody helps to contribute to get you where you are. Other nations of people understand that, except the black man. The black man can have a woman by his side for 30 years, and he get all of a sudden he's striking rich, and now he wants a white woman. So he either leave that woman alone or cheat on that woman based on the worldly laws of today. 30 years helping him climb and enduring all his pain and all that he's going through. So it shows she had some value. And then as soon as he get what he's looking for, he kicks it to the curb. She's no longer any good. She got a smart mouth. He wants something different. Because wealth make people think differently. You think one way when you're poor, but then when you get wealth, you think a completely different way. Great is the man that can show humility no matter what his financial situation is. That's the challenge for man.
Yep.
Fear of self.
That wealth builds their ego.
All right. Continue on,
Verse-
please.
Verse 6. And the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together.
They had so much wealth that they had to live in two portions of the land, two different portions. And Lot has so much wealth, it built his ego, Sister Vayada. His ego built, and he began to feel like, man, I'm just as great as my uncle now. But the thing that Lot didn't have that his uncle had was the Most High, to the degree that the Most High had him. Lot did serve the Creator, just as you, anybody under your roof, anybody living in your household, everybody should be serving the Creator. Believe me, because if they don't, the Most High will expose you. He will cause a curse, something to come upon your household and your family. He will not let you excel like you would like to excel. That's how the Most High operates. Your children should be walking in the ways of the Most High. They live in your house under your roof, they should be obeying the voice of the Most High King. Y'all follow me? Let's read on, please.
Verse 7. And there was a strife between the herdmen of Abram's cattle and the herdmen of Lot's cattle. And the Canaanite and the Perizzite dwelt then in the land. And Abram said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen. For we are brethren.
Did y'all hear that?
Yes.
I don't know if y'all really understand what's taking
Mhm.
place. Remember yesterday we read something about the Most High said to the children of Israel, let's find a place where we can come to some kind of agreement.
Mhm.
Remember the Most High said that yesterday?
Yes.
It takes a wise man to see contention brewing. And before it gets out of hand, say, hey, well, let's sit down and let's discuss how we're going to handle this.
Right.
It shows you the humility of our father Abraham. How many of us men have that type of humility? Now, Abram was the grand master when it comes to men of renown in that household. Abram was the grand master. His nephew Lot would have been a servant's master.
Mhm.
Abram goes to the lesser quality or qualified man and say, hey, listen, there's no reason for us to argue with each other and fight with each other. We brother.
Mm.
He says to his nephew, pick where you would want to go, and I'll go to the other side. Most men want the best for themselves.
Mhm.
But Abram didn't come with that type of spirit. Abram came with the spirit of, listen, we got to fix this problem no matter what. Because it said the Philistines and the Canaanites and the Perizzites would dwell all over. They were the enemies. They were the enemies of them. The enemies is all around us. But the leadership came together and said, you know what? Let's put our differences aside. Let's work this out. You pick where you want to go,
Mhm.
and I'll go to the other direction. That was the word of Abraham, Abram, the master of the house, speaking to one of his servants, his nephew, who had also grown wealthy under Abram's leadership. He didn't have to speak like that. He could have said, yo, man, our people are fighting. All right, we brethren, you go over there, I'm going over here. Or you need to fix this. You know how we do today.
Mhm.
You need to fix this. No, I'm telling you, you better fix this. Abram didn't move in that spirit. And we should learn to incorporate that type of spirit within us. Stop assuming the worst of people.
Mhm.
And even if you are the head of that position, you don't have to exert your authority when it's not necessary. You can let the people handle these things. And that's what he did. He let the people handle it. He said, Lot, where would you like to go? And watch what happens. Read on.
Verse 9. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me, If thou would take the left hand, then I will go to the right.
If you want to go this way, I'll go that way. What you choose, whatever you decide, I'm willing to agree to. Read on.
Or if thou take the right hand, then I will go to the left. And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of the Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere.
Well, what?
Well watered.
He said,
everywhere.
it looked good over there.
Mhm.
I'm going to go over there. Like I said, every man wants the best for himself.
Right.
But Abraham, or Abram at the time, he understood that no matter where he went, the Most High was with him. So the Most High would take a barren land and make it grow fruit and vegetables for Abraham's sake.
Mhm.
And I'm saying the Most High would do the same thing for you today. People don't want you around. That's okay. Just get up and leave. People want to treat you like your second nature. Just get up and leave. Go, trust in the Most High and do your thing. The Most High will make it happen. Trust the Creator. He will protect, provide, and sustain you. Please, whatever you do, fam, I don't care how difficult it looks in life. I don't care what the hardship is, what the confusion in your mind. Lean not on your own understanding and lean on the understanding of the Creator. Trust in Him. Live your life to the best of your ability to serve Him. And when you got problem situations, take it to Him and leave it alone. You ain't got to nag Him about it. Like I keep nagging Him about that $100 million. I keep nagging Him. Hey, once in a while I'll make prayer. I'll mention that $100 million at the end of my prayer. So I'm going to stop nagging Him, y'all, because you ain't got to nag Him. All you got to do is let Him know what you need. He told Dawid, why did you go take that man's wife? He said, all you had to do was ask me for another one and I would have gave you another one. You ain't got to steal, Dawid. You ain't got to do this. So if He's willing to do it, Dawid, for Dawid, how much more would He be willing to do it for y'all and every one of us? We just have to learn how to trust in the Creator. He will provide and give us everything that we need and most of the things that we want. Read it on, please.
10. And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of the Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere. Before the Most High destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, like the garden of the Most High, like the land of Mitzrayim, as thou goest unto Zoar. So Lot chose him all the plain of the Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves, the one from the other.
Now, y'all all know where Lot ended up going, right?
Yeah.
He ended up settling in Sodom and Gomorrah.
That's why.
Homosexuality and witchcraft. Lot, although he was a servant of the Most High, he was misguided.
Mhm.
And he lived around homosexuality and witchcraft. And he wasn't supposed to. You're supposed to flee from those type of things. But the land was so rich in the earth and so beautiful that Lot got hooked and he stayed and dwelt there, him and his people. But if you ever notice, when he left Abram, he was rich, he was wealthy. But when you hear the story of Sodom, it was only Lot and his household that left. What happened to all of his possessions? What happened to all his male servants and female servants that he had?
They integrated.
You see what I'm saying? They left because he was no longer wealthy as he was at one time. But he was still a rich man. I mean, a spiritual filled man. You understand what I'm saying to you? The Most High still saw enough within him when he was talking to Abraham in Genesis, the 18th chapter, 19th chapter, the two, between the two, where he said to Abraham, if I can find one righteous or 10 righteous, then I'll save the city for those. And he only found one, which was Lot. So he pulled Lot out and bombed the city. So in all of the teachings that Abram shared with Lot, even though he was arrogant, he had his mistakes, he had his errors and his flaws, he had enough to still be considered righteous in the sight of the Most High. What does that say to you? What it says to me is, don't never look for a perfect man, because you will never find the perfect man. Look for a righteous man. And that's the difference. Look for a righteous individual to lead you, to teach you, to guide you, to help you, or to put some form of trust in. A righteous individual. Because if you keep looking for the perfect individual, you're never going to find that. A lot of women are single today because they're looking for the perfect man. How about looking for the perfect one for you?
Mhm.
How about that? Rather than looking for Mr. Perfect. Read on, please.
Autumn had a question.
She
asked,
do?
was-
You have a
she said
question?
was
How do I know
Sodom-
she got a question?
It was in the
Questions
chat.
after the lesson.
Okay.
Go ahead, read on, please.
11. So Lot chose him all the plain of the Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves the one from the other. Abram dwelt in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelt in the cities of the plain, and moved his tent as far as Sodom. Now the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners against the Lord exceedingly, or against the Creator exceedingly. And the Most High said unto Abram,
What verse you on?
I'm on 14.
Read on.
Verse 14. And the Most High said unto Abram, after that Lot was separated from him. Lift up now thine eyes and look from the place where thou art, and northward and southward and eastward and westward. For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever.
So what did he say? He said, take them up on a high mountain and look them across the land. He said, as far as your eyes can see, all this land, thousands of acres, all this land I shall give unto your descendants and you forever. So y'all are rich.
Mhm.
You know, a man's wealth is not about the dollars he has in his pocket. It's about the resources he has at his disposal. Land is what makes a man truly wealthy.
Mhm.
And if a man doesn't own land, then a man is not wealthy at all. Why do you think most of these rich entertainers are now purchasing land?
Mhm.
Because they understand without land, you ain't really got nothing. You have to own some land, or you got to be affiliated with some land in some type of way to have any true substance or wealth. And most of our people, I would say a good 99% of our people are affiliated with city life. You don't own no property. No property do you own. Some of us own the properties that we live in. Some of us do a little better. We own that property and a couple more. And that's a good thing. And if you don't own anything, you don't really have any wealth. So it's a good thing when you meet a wealthy man. He might walk around with $2 in his pocket, but he got $6 million worth of property. He's a wealthy man.
Mhm.
That at any moment, all he needs to do is cash in one of those to get the things that he needs to expand. Or her, because it can happen vice versa with a woman as well. All right, read on, please.
Verse 16. And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered.
Did the Most High keep his word?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, he did. Ishmael was a son of Abraham,
Mhm.
and Ishmael got a whole lot of people over there.
Yeah.
Isaac and Jacob are all children of Abraham,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of descendants that issue from their loins.
Mhm.
And we're still populating today.
Okay.
The Most High didn't make a mistake when he chose us, people of color, to work with. He didn't make a mistake. See, we absorb the sunlight and we grow healthier and stronger. The adversarial energy repels the sunlight. And if sunlight comes into their bodies, it makes them sick. It gives them what they call skin cancer. Everything in creation absorbs sunlight except them. Everything that's natural. absorb sunlight, and the sun is used
Hmm.
to absorb and grow it, cause it to grow. Except them. Read on, please, and close this out.
Yes. 17, arise, walk through the land in the length of it, and in the breadth of it, for unto thee will I give it. And Abram moved his tent and came and dwelt by the terebinths of Mamre, which are in Hebron, and built there an altar unto the Most High.
Everywhere Abram went and made his tent or his home, he built a house of worship for the Most High.
Hallelujah.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Everywhere he went, he kept the Most High with him. Where's your little space at for the Most High where you live? Most of us forget the Most High. At the very minimum, we got a prayer rug or a little prayer closet. Usually, that's at the very minimum. Most of us, we forget about taking the Most High with us. Not that we can physically take the Creator anywhere, but just the ideal of having a set aside place for the Creator, for His Spirit, where we can commune with Him, is extremely important. And if you notice, everywhere Abram went, he built a place for the Most High. And he called upon the Most High at that place. Where's your place for the Most High, family? We just got this land around the corner. 110 acres of land. And before we put one house on that land, we had to put a house of worship for the Most High. That's what we had to do. And we did it. It's there. We had to put a house of worship there for the Most High, so that the Most High will bless the land and all of our endeavors by us thinking of Him first and causing that portion to come into fruition. So people try to get in your way and stop you from doing what you got to do. Shake them off. Stay focused and do what you got to do, what the Most High calls you to do. Don't let them interfere. Don't let them get in your way. Don't let them cease and stop you from doing what you have to do. Stay loyal and obedient and committed to the Most High King, and the Most High shall bless you. He shall bless you. All right, let's see. We have any questions at this time?
I had 2 questions.
The city Sodom and Gomorrah wasn't built yet, right? No. The city Sodom and Gomorrah was built. But what happened is they wasn't there yet. And Lot went down into Sodom and dwelt there. Remember what scripture said that the Most High was, these people did things that was totally against the Creator?
He said exceedingly.
Yeah, exceedingly against the Creator. Meaning these people were wicked. Verse 13, but the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Most High exceedingly. So the city of Sodom and Gomorrah was there. And it also spoke about the other city, Zoar, that was also there right outside of the city of Lot. That's where they ran to when they went into the mountain. I believe that's where they ran. And as they watched the rest of the cities be destroyed. When the Most High called Abram perfect, if no one is, what did he mean? I didn't say that no one is perfect. Nobody's perfect. Nobody is perfect. And I'm surprised you would ask that question. So let me revisit that again for the 99th time. Perfection. Look at her face. Perfection doesn't mean without fault. Perfection means the best in your generation. You can be full of sin, which Abram was, which Lot was, and the Most High still call you perfect because he's comparing you to those people in your generation. If you're keeping his law and doing what he requires of you, you are walking perfectly before him. Even if you mess up and make a mistake, in your integrity, you walk perfectly before the Most High King. That's what he means by perfect.
And then I guess our perfect is different from his perfect anyway.
Why would you say?
Because we can't measure what his perfect is. We don't know like everything he looks for. We know that he tells us to do his commandments, law, statutes, and commandments righteously. But I would think just not even just that. He looks at a whole lot more than that. And so we can't measure how the Most High sees perfect or how the Most High sees a person. And then the way we look at it is just from a human sight of we look at more tangible things as a person being perfect of what, our own desire, not of the creator.
Okay. What I think we look at more in our ways of perfection is the way that the Europeans have taught us what
Mhm.
perfection is.
Yeah.
And the Europeans have taught us that perfection is without error or fault.
Mhm.
But nothing is without error or fault.
Mhm.
Then how could anything ever be perfect?
Mhm.
You can always find some negativity in almost everything. So as I brought out earlier, he walked in his integrity before the Most High, which showed that he had error within him, but yet he was still considered to be perfect.
Mhm.
Are there any other questions?
Well, I have a comment about, we have Sodom and Gomorrah on the cell phone because people get distracted so easily with the cell phone. You can get anything from pornography to homosexuality to lesbian. You can get everything on this cell phone. And that is part of the challenge people have to serve the Most High. So when I think of perfect relationship with the Most High, is being aware when we're distracted from having a whole heart to serve the Most High, and then daily recognizing our choices we make that take us away from the Most High. But Sodom and Gomorrah is in people's faces now. We read about that in scripture, but it's everywhere. When I was thinking about Michael Jordan, when you mentioned a man who could live with somebody for 30 years and then marry a woman of another race, and when you have so many people idolizing you, like for instance, Michael Jordan and all the other stars, then they're easily distracted to think they need a different type of woman. So that we have to help our children not be so distracted. And that's my goal with my grandchildren, is to help them stay focused on what a perfect relationship with the Most High is. And so that's what I'm challenged with as a grandmother, is to direct my grandchildren to have a perfect relationship with the Most High, recognizing that the temptation is everywhere, especially if you got a cell phone. So we have to be on guard for that, I think.
It's very interesting. Very interesting way of putting it. You're absolutely right. Are there any questions? Any other comments? All right, let me address that situation with the cell phone. Your cell phone is a device, and it doesn't operate unless you push a button. So in order for you to get into those things, those areas, those arenas, it has to be in your spirit first, in your mind. And then you go there and you're visiting that arena in that device, and you're doing those things. That's when your test comes in. That's your test. And I pray that the Most High strengthens you where you're able to pass your test. Mm-hmm. Just like Abraham was tested, so are we. Every day, all day, we're tested as well. And except you truly dedicate your life to the Creator, you will fail your test constantly. But if you dedicate your life truly to the Most High, you only fail your test sometimes. But even in your failure, there's a lesson to learn. So even in the negativity, there's some positivity. Mm-hmm. And you just have to be able to open your mind and see things from a different lens, from a different perspective, as to the goodness of you failing that test and how you can prevent from failing the next test or that same test when it comes back to you in a different way. Because usually your tests don't come the same way, unless it's the same test over and over. But usually your test comes slightly altered with a little bit of modification, except if you fail it. Just to challenge you to see if you're really worthy of what the Most High has for you. Are there any other questions? Any other comments? You have the floor.
I like how the Creator said, arise and walk in the land through its length and its width, for I give it to you. Because that's what y'all have been doing on the land down there, and hopefully we'll do that at Sukkot. So that reminds me, like, he wants us to do that and get connected with the land that he gives us and put your spirit on it.
Yep, that's exactly what he does. You know what you just said, put your spirit on it. People don't recognize how important that is. That anywhere you call home, take off your shoes, walk around barefoot, and put your spirit there. Claim it in your spirit. And this land here, when you come, put your spirit here. Take off your shoes and walk around with no shoes on and put your spirit there. Come on, y'all. What y'all waiting for? Come on. The land just sitting right there. And it's a good time to come because the gate is open. Just go right on up in there and put your foot and claim your portion.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of gate, do you have a name for the gate?
Yeah, that's the conversation we're going to have after class.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
All right. Are there any other questions? Any other comments? All right. Well, we're going to close out our class today. Do we have anyone else willing to close us out in prayer? Does anyone wish to close us out in prayer?
Himyah?
You already did it, sis. One more person, please.
No, I said Himyah.
Oh, Laura, Sister Laura.
I'm just hinting.
Almighty Father, we thank you so much for this day and all that has been said and we have absorbed within our spirit. Thank you so much for your love and for this Shabbat day. Thank you, Father, for teaching us and for guiding us each step of the way. Thank you for our instructor, our teacher, and I ask that you continue to bless him and his family in a special way. And even the land, oh Father, we know that your blessing is already upon it. Oh Father, you do more for us than even we can ask, because we trust you. And we know that you are with us. And we say, Toda Rabah, Toda Rabah. Hallelujah to your name. As we depart from this study, we ask that your Spirit will continue to teach us and ignite us and bring us to that place where we ought to be, so that you will be praised and honored in everything we do and say as we go forward. Esteem be unto your set apart name, now and forevermore. I say hallelujah, praise Yah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
May the Most High be praised. May the Most High be praised. Sister Laura, you got a special spirit with you, man. What?
And may the Most High be praised.
Yes, yes. Sister Abigail, could you cut the recording off, please?